No, whoa, that's crooked. November 3rd, Niyama Wednesday. So, what? It helps if I have them in front of me. One day I will memorize them all and it will be great. It's fine. It's a great opportunity to accept the fact that I'm just not memorizing them, and that's okay. I want to talk about surrender. Devotion or self-surrender. Academically, the idea of surrendering the fruits of your own pursuits to a higher power is kind of verbatim one of the definitions. And that's fine. Excuse me. It's cold. It's cold out here. But I like to think of it in other ways. Like that's a huge idea, right? What are you doing, Cassie? I think she's stalking a bird in a shrub. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Anyway, sorry. What about surrendering to the fruits of your labors? Just being okay and enjoying your successes, or surrendering to an idea that is not the norm. I'll give you an example. Especially in Americanized yoga, there's this idea that yoga is a flow. And you hear people say stuff to that effect. They'll say, I just want to flow. And I'm deriding it a little bit, posture to posture. And the fact is, they're all individual postures. And it's a microcosm. The an asana practice can be a little microcosm of your life. That might sound absurd, but stay with me. You've heard me talk before about putting your happiness off. Like, I'll be happy when I have this, or I'll be happy when I go here, or I'll be happy when I'm this. And one of the things we learn in yoga is to be happy right now. To find bliss and happiness and peacefulness right now, or strive to. That's not to say to not try to remedy a situation you might be in if the situation is bad. But it is to say that happiness is something that you can have all the time. You can have happiness all the time. It's difficult. I'm not always successful. Nobody's always successful at that or at anything. But you don't... I started to sidetrack a little bit too much. Let's go back to asana practice. Say you're in Utkatasana, you're in chair posture. And in your head, you think you know what the next posture is going to be. One idea is to let go of that thought. Surrender to this moment right here. You're in chair, and the room is 95 degrees, and you're pouring sweat, and it's stinging your eyes, and your quads are burning, because it's the 54th chair you've done today. And you have a bunch of options, right? You can sit there and be upset or frustrated or look forward to other things. You can be like, why are we doing so many chairs? Right? You can rejoice in the fact that you're able to do random ambush smooch. You can rejoice in this idea of doing your 54th chair, right? Like, you can find happiness in the moment you're in. And I think that that's an important aspect of how all of the niyamas guide us toward bliss. cleanliness of thought and contentment and self-discipline and self-reflection, right? Cleanliness of thought, banishing the idea that you don't want to do another chair, right? Like, or rather, recognizing the negativity of the thoughts. You don't even have to banish it, right? You're just recognizing the negativity of the thoughts of like, oh, I'm doing another chair, versus I'm doing chair for the 54th time. And contentment, to not look to the next posture and instead to look to this posture. What are you doing right now? And the self-discipline to keep those errant thoughts at bay, to keep those thoughts focused, and the ability to be self-disciplined and self-reflection in looking to the truth of the moment and finding your ability to have joy and experience bliss in the moment, and your ability to and then the surrendering to that bliss and joy in the moment, surrendering to the process that leads you there. This is not to say ignore negativity in your life. There's been studies that show false positivity does damage to our selves. But I'm not talking about false positivity. I'm talking about true reflection and honesty and discipline and reflection and surrender to that moment right now. Just as you can rejoice and be truthful about, this is the 54th chair I've done today, and it's amazing that I'm still doing it no matter how tired my muscles are. The fact of the matter is your muscles are tired, and you don't want to ignore that. That's also a truth, right? There can be multiple truths at any given time. You know, the sky is blue, and it's raining, and it's cold. These are all truths, potentially, right? None of them are necessarily good or bad. So yeah, self-surrender, surrendering to the positivity of your own life, acknowledging the good that you've done. It doesn't always have to be based on a religion or religious belief. The idea of a higher power in yoga is less about a specific deity and more about a concept of something other than us. Something bigger and farther away and not even controlling. It doesn't control us. It exists to witness. I'm talking about the universal consciousness. The idea of this universal consciousness. How it exists to witness. And it's blissful. It's a blissful place. But that can be a huge concept. And so, like, I could be miserable right now that I'm cold. But it's really not that bad, and I know I'm going to be warm later. I also know I chose to come out here in an outfit that's more suited to a warmer studio or a warmer day. I think the surrender is important as a self-study. Talking back about yoga flows, I had a tendency to try to teach yoga, and I probably still do, the way people expect it to be taught. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of a yoga flow, how you move, blah, 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 blah. There are seams. You can move seamlessly from posture to posture. There's always seams. There's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's always movement and then stillness and then engagement. Like, we're not water flowing through a river, a seamless flow. Right? We talk about it like we are. We're not. We live moment to moment. We remember this moment, but we don't remember driving. We don't remember every commute we've ever done to work, but we remember pivotal moments at work. We live moment to moment. We remember moment to moment. We even look forward moment to moment. So I feel like yoga postures in a class should be taught that way. And worrying about what other people think, I need to teach what I'm going to teach, right? I need to teach my truth. I need to be honest and teach what I think is the best way to teach, and surrender to that. Let that be what it is. I feel really good about that. I'm leaving most of my clothes on. So yeah, it's chilly. It's a little frigid. And the cork mat does not seem to have as good grippage in cold weather. Whew. Thanks for joining Cassie and I on... Hello, yes. We're gonna go in because you're cold. I know. Thanks for joining us on our practice this morning. Thanks for listening. Namaste.